All right.
up on YouTube, up on Facebook.
Hi to the
All
world.
right.
Hi to the world.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
Like how Ron looks like he's the only person at Bonner.
Way to go, Ron. You make it down there. Oh,
What was that?
Reality.
Just trying to make sure we got everybody in here.
Are we in our frame? Let us know if it even made.
looks good.
Hopefully that's a little bit better.
All right.
All right. Well, cool. Awesome. Welcome back, everybody, for Roodiculous Stories from the Farm, Volume 3. This is our third night, Saturday night here. We would have been at Bonnaroo this year if not for all the craziness with COVID this year. But the Parachute people are here with our friends, not just our Bonnaroo friends, our friends, because they're like, that's what Bonnaroo does, is make real friends out of strangers. So we're here with our friends to share some awesome stories of some of the past Bonnaroos, and we're looking forward to hearing all of the exciting, ridiculous, memorable events that all of our friends have to share. So let's get started. Ron, you want to take it away?
Yeah, give it up for our man Casey here, the co-host coming in from Boston, Massachusetts.
Casey.
And I'm Ron. I'm coming in from Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, Ron.
What's up? We have a really awesome cast today because this right here is the most experienced just group in I've ever come across. I mean, everyone in each of these little windows here has just multiple years of experience. I'm just going to get right into it and introduce Tommy and Holly from Westerville, Ohio.
Hello.
We have Julia and Laura coming in from Canada.
Wow.
Hey.
Great Lakes. It's
Justin
not
and
snowing.
Justin and Annie coming in from Columbus, Ohio.
Hey.
And
Hey.
also, last but not least, Tim Ackerman from Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Yeah, this last guy, Tim, he's been to every single Bonnaroo. I'm going to read a little article just really quick.
Beginning to end?
Yeah, it says Tim Ackerman has gone to every Bonnaroo. At this point, that's really saying something. 17 years on, he has spent more than 2 months of his life on the campgrounds, the Manchester, Tennessee Music Festival. In those early years, when he would see Tom Petty, Neil Young, and Widespread Panic playing on the Bonnaroo Giant stage, he'd dream about seeing his favorite live act there one day. I always thought, man, it'd be really great to see Fish here. And wish came true.
Yeah, last year I woke up to like 130 text messages on my phone and I had no idea what was going on. And I found out it was because Fish was playing 2 nights at Bonnaroo.
Oh, man.
Everybody knew. You needed it.
Yeah, I've seen each one of them there individually, but yeah, no, it was great. It's weird. This is the first June since like 2002, since I was 21 that I haven't went to the farm. So it's a little bittersweet, but I've I know that when we get back, it's not going to be good. It'll be great.
Right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, well, I mean, I'm interested to hear any stories from that first Bonnaroo.
The first
Bonnaroo number one.
Like obviously nobody knew what we were getting into, and my friend and I had just quit our jobs and decided to leave for Bonnaroo. We had tickets, and
How much was the ticket? Do you remember? First year, how much was the Bonnaroo ticket?
$119.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Wow.
Good deal.
So this
That's
was
American.
That cost a nickel.
yeah.
Would have been.
Woo.
So we were really excited to get there, and then we got to probably like mile marker 103 about 8 o'clock at night, and then we sat there for 13 hours on the freeway. Nobody knew what was going on. Like we were semis, and there were like a kid 3 cars behind us had went to drop off his girlfriend and was heading home and just got stuck in this traffic jam. There was couldn't
Oh,
get
no.
anything. We didn't get in until like probably 10, 11 in the morning. And at that point, we were sleeping in my Volkswagen. So in my Golf, not my van. Yeah, it was like I somehow, there was this girl that had been opening for Medeski Martin Wood. Her name was Nora Jones. And like,
Ever heard of her?
Yeah.
I was so excited to see her. And she was playing on Sunday during Phil and Bobby. And like, I somehow conned my two friends I was with. I was like, we got to go see Nora Jones. And there was probably about 80 people there. And she, like, we were like front row. It was crazy. And she played after a band called Gabe Dixon Band. And I only remember that because it rained that weekend for like 3 minutes during that show.
Oh my gosh.
The only rain you got whole time.
Yeah, the only rain. It was the dust pit. We were camped on like 9th and Broadway. So like just down from the Ferris wheel, like right on the dirt road.
Man, it's wild.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That I mean, I think I don't know that there's that many people that have been to every Bonnaroo, and I know there's there were probably like what 40,000 people at that first one.
It felt like a lot. Like I'm not sure how many people were there. It sold out in like 21 days. So I think like towards 04 and 05 and 06, that's when it was getting like just so big that they started kind of like reining it in. And then you go the year that the weekend's there and there's 40,000 people and you're just kind of like, oh, well, this is nice.
Right.
Yeah, it's changed so much. It was such like a jam band centric festival, but every band was accustomed to playing like 2 to 3, 4 hours. So that like I think all of our expectations, people that have been going a long time, your expectations have to change of what the headliners look like. Because like Billy Joel was not my favorite headliner, but I was also like I like him, but I always wanted more. I wanted like the 4-hour marathon show.
Wow. Well, awesome. Who else has a story from like their first Bonnaroo?
I was just gonna throw out because I've met a lot of people that have been to Bonnaroo a million times, and my first Bonnaroo was 2005, and I've been every year since. I was in like high school. A bunch of people were just I worked with at a dry cleaners were like, "You gotta go to this festival. It's out of your it'll blow your mind." Like things you'd never see in the real world. And I was just like, whatever. Like couldn't even. Like they sold me beer, but I couldn't even like buy a beer yet. Like I was just like a child. And but like I went out there and ran around, watched a bunch of music I didn't know. The only band I think I knew that year was like Allman Brothers and like Black Alicious or something like that. But just talking about what it was like then, like camping was like a free for all. Like there was no organization. It was just kind of like another world. You're just kind of walking around, and I don't know, it was just pretty nuts. I think Tom Petty played that year though, and it was as far as the music goes, it was a special year. But just what you were saying about what it used to be like when you went out there, get on the highway, you'd just be sitting for hours. I don't know, it was so much different. It was a little more chaotic, I guess, but
one of the craziest things about the highway for me is I've gone like last year was my 8th year of Bonnaroo, and every single year that I went to Bonnaroo, I would wait in this lineup for half an hour, 45 minutes tops. And everybody was talking about these lineups, and we would always come from Chattanooga side because we would stay in these cool cabins before Bonnaroo. So we'd come in sort of a back way, and everyone was like, oh my God, can you believe I've waited 10 hours, 14 hours, whatever. And we're like, we waited 30 minutes, not even. So last year we came from Nashville for our 8th year in a row, and we waited in line 6, 7, 8 hours, and we went around back ways, and we were like, what is this place? But we actually finally last year realized what the true Roo lineup is.
Right.
We have found that back way before, and it is.
Yeah, it took me like 6 years of going to Bonnaroo, and I think someone followed the GPS the wrong way, and it took us like we never went faster than like 40 miles an hour, but somehow we like back roaded all the way around the line off the highway and popped up and they like cut us into this line that was probably like hours long, and we were just like, what was this?
Like right by that gas.
Like stop for some beer, like our beer for the farm, and then all of a sudden get in this line, wait 2 cars, and then be in the line for a search. And then we were like,
the gas
how did we do
station
this?
right off the highway, the last gas station before you're in like
Don't tell him.
That's the secret. Yeah, that's the secret way.
Knows how to get into Bonnaroo. So
yeah,
it's a secret story because it's the way you go and that's the way you like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I know they've tried to divert traffic, all sorts of different ways, and it ends up, some people just get lucky and they get in super fast,
right? Yeah.
And others, it can take 8 hours to get in. It's kind of how the lineup goes.
Yeah.
The
always
traffic
said
goes.
it was because we were Canadian and we had traveled 17 hours south that we got so lucky. So last year when we had waited in line for 6 hours, we whined to some guard / police officer and somehow got where we wanted to quicker, which thank you, Canada.
Awesome.
Canadian privilege.
So, like, what are some of the traditions as far as like the first thing you do at Bonnaroo?
Oh, the first thing that we have always done, and this is going to sound crazy, but the first year that we ever went, we had to go through Detroit.
No. You're going to do it.
Yeah. So we had to go through Detroit, and we always imagined like 8 Mile, like going through like 8 Mile, driving through. Yeah. So what did we do is we watched the last rap battle of 8 Mile, the first year that we ever went, and it's been a tradition. Before we even leave our house, we put on 8 Mile and we watched that last rap battle, like
between Eminem and Country World 313, and we like get reeled down. There's 6 kids in my bedroom, ready to go.
And now when you see Eminem and he plays like 8 Mile, I'm sure you just like lose it out there. Yeah. I've seen him out there both times. And
lose ourselves to the music. Yeah. That moment.
Since then we've gone to Detroit to see Eminem, and we've seen him on the farm since then. But that was like a big kind of thing for us that we were gonna travel through there and go through 8 Mile, and we were like, let's watch the rap battle, and it's been a thing. But
that rap battle just kept going for 8 years.
Every year before we leave, we're like, put on 8 Mile, put on the DVD and watch it and go to the scene. Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah, it was. And it's always before sunset. Our parents are super cool, and they're like, "Oh, you guys watching Eminem again?" And we're like up on the bed, like jumping on the bed, ready to go, like eating a beef jerky or something.
How about Holly and Tom? What do you guys have as far as like traditions?
We just try to set up as quick as possible.
Yeah, it's like get out of the car, throw everything out, set up the canopies first, and then everyone sets up their tents, and then it's all ready and we can sit down and drink.
Yeah. The setup is essential, right? Because if you start drinking before you set up your tent.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
has anyone done that?
We had a couple participants in that side of it.
There was, so a crazy year. Timmy decided to get everybody tickets to Radiohead, the Radiohead year.
Up in Blossom.
Because they played the Wednesday before Bonnaroo.
Mm-hmm.
So we go up to Blossom, which is in Cleveland, see Radiohead that Wednesday before Thursday is Bonnaroo. So we went up, saw them, and then
straight home and left.
Drove back to Columbus real quick, pack up all our stuff, and then just drove straight through the night. Everybody was just cash because you figure you leave at 3:00 in the afternoon on Wednesday to drive up to Cleveland to see Radiohead, get back to Columbus at roughly 2 a.m, throw all your Bonnaroo stuff into the car, and then do the 9-hour drive to Bonnaroo, just to get there at like 7 o'clock in the morning.
And I don't know, whatever. And then start like drinking, and you don't go to sleep because if you go to sleep, then you're going to sleep all day.
That
was the year that Holly had to wake me up because I went to bed before Alabama Shakes.
I was going to say Alabama Shakes played Thursday night.
Yeah, you were asleep. You missed it.
I definitely, I crashed hard that.
Tommy missed Alabama Shakes, and Tommy didn't drive. I drove with the help of crack coffee from Timmy.
I showed Holly the wonders of Cup of Joe cold brew coffee.
It was amazing. Timmy was like, I looked back in the mirror at one point, and like every time I got over, you were like right behind me. You were on it, and I was like, that crack coffee kicked in good.
Like 4 o'clock in the morning, which is like, and I don't drink coffee, so apparently I'm missing out.
He fell asleep, and I had the music blaring, drinking my iced coffee, beating on the dashboard, just having a great
all
time.
hopped up.
Yeah.
How about you, Tim? Do you have any traditions when you first get to the farm?
Yeah, it's usually like the I like to put up the flag. That's every year I've like invested in one new thing for the long run. And the year I got the flagpole, I was like the happiest. And so that's the first. I don't feel like I'm at Bonnaroo until I get to hang the Ohio flag and then possibly like a little Blue Jackets flag.
Oh yeah, claim it for Ohio.
True.
Right when we hang our Canadian flag at Bonnaroo, and people are like, "You're Canadian," and you're like, "Do you like us or not?" And everyone usually does, but we are always hanging that flag with pride.
I've camped next to Canadians a lot. I feel like it's probably like 40%. We watched the Raptors win the championship there with some people in the RVs.
Yeah.
And
someone actually grabbed me last year and said, "Did you know that the Raptors just won the NBA final?" And I don't know if I've ever been so proud of my country at Bonnaroo.
You guys go
Your
really
entire
hard
country
to
won
Chromia,
that.
too.
Yeah.
That was a win for all of Canada.
Oh yeah.
Representing all of Canada. Yes.
For sure. Another big tradition before getting to Bonnaroo is Cracker Barrel for us.
And
Cracker Barrel is like a big thing for us.
And that water tower in Kentucky, Florence,
Florence, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's on our trip.
moment. We're halfway there. We're doing it.
How about you Isbel's? Any traditions when you first get to Bonnaroo?
It's always when it was older, when it was more of a free for all. It was when the guy's flagging you in and they're like, pull up further, and my friends used to be like, just turn the car, take the car keys out and just jump out of your car, and then they'll be like, whatever. But then it's the crazy throw all your stuff down and claim your area, and then pop it up in 10 minutes, I don't know, like a well-oiled machine, and then suddenly, I don't know, it's kind of the same thing. Everyone gets comfortable. We kind of build a little living room in our canopy party, and just kind of everyone sets up in a circle and just kind of sits down and kind of takes it all in, that you're back and you're doing it.
Yeah.
And
that first beer when your camp's all set up and you're all just hanging out, it's the best.
It doesn't matter what time of the day. It
the
could be
sweetest
6
beer.
a.m. in the morning. You pop that beer.
I mean, usually that whether it's an hour wait or a 4 or 5 hour wait in that line, that's usually when we end up being let's get to the ice chest in the trunk, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it doesn't matter what time it is, just it's time to get started. We can't wait any longer,
We're close enough.
So because one time we got pulled aside from once you get into the search lines.
This was my first year.
Annie's first year. And
What year was that?
We got the
2013.
2013, the stacked year where it was
Oh, yeah.
Paul McCartney, Tom Petty, B. York.
Excellent year.
When you read
The
it,
best
you
lineup.
kick your head at it.
The best.
It was too much. I actually was recently looking at the schedules, and I was there's 4 bands conflicting at all times all day long. But anyway, we got pulled aside from the Coffee County police for the thorough search. But Annie thought it was because we were drinking beer in our car.
I was I'm sorry.
And they had no interest in us drinking in our car when we pulled in there.
Yeah.
But And I'm just like, no.
But they searched that car.
And found nothing.
They found nothing.
But they spent a while. I think they were really disappointed. They like tried to make us think that they would like take us to jail and all this
They
stuff.
offered us a bologna sandwich.
Yeah, he was like, "You got a place to stay tonight if if you're not honest with us," kind of situation. And
I was so nervous. I was like, "Are we not going to go in?
and our like
what's
5
happening?"
cars of friends are on the other side of the search line calling us like, "We're in. Where are you?"
Yeah, oh geez, yeah, and that's tough because like I mean, if you don't do group camping or some other special kind of camping, you have to go in with your crew. Otherwise, you end up split up. You could end up, someone's in like Jediville and the other person's in BFE.
Yeah.
So
we've been there.
Yeah, we've got a good system now. We know how to make it work.
Yeah, so just even like getting through and then like meeting up with like all of our cars is like great.
A thing. We usually hop out in the field on the other side of the search line. We're not even in campgrounds, and we start throwing old Bonnaroo frisbees around and like frolicking, and like we're not even in it, and we're already like going crazy. And then
Already ready?
Pull it together, get in there, and
set up.
Hope you're camped close. And I don't know. It's usually just that first setup though. Once you get, because we do canopies and.
It's all about that first setup, dude. Like you have really good setup.
Amber's here.
Hi.
Hey, Amber.
Hi. I just got off work, so I just wanted to say hello.
Hello. Well, Amber, it was your first Bonnaroo last year, correct?
No.
Or no. You'd been before, way back.
Oh,
Yeah,
five?
it was my first one in 12 years.
Holy.
Oh.
Wow.
We shared the best fish something late night of all time.
Yeah.
Fish, deep fried something fish.
Oh, like food. I thought you meant
Yeah, no.
PH fish.
No, we were sharing the fish tacos, deep fried, smooshing board.
On that one.
Yeah. Ron found like abandoned fish on a picnic table and started eating it. And then I was like, Ron, are you allergic to fish? And he was like, oh, yeah.
It was fried food. It looked like a
Oh my
it
gosh,
looked
Ron.
like a deep fried corn dog, but I was really hungry. It was late night.
It's like, Ron, it's fish.
Don't pick up random food because you're hungry.
Hey, Tim.
But then when we found Ron, he was like, we got this abandoned food. And I was like, I am so hungry.
Yeah.
And then it was delicious.
Yeah. He's like, hey, we have this.
So I know he says don't pick up abandoned food. And me as a nurse, I would always tell everybody, do never eat abandoned food. But when you're eating abandoned food, it is so good.
I definitely got caught at the campsite. I left to go to the bathroom and I came back and everybody was talking to this guy and he had a sandwich baggie, like not even a zip one, just a baggie with carrots. And he's like, do you want a carrot? And I was like, sure. So I'm like eating carrots and he gives me the bag and leaves. And they're like, dude, do you know that guy? I'm like, no, you guys were talking to him. Like, how am I supposed to know? I figured you knew it.
What kind of special carrots are these?
How were the carrots?
They were fantastic.
Okay.
And an hour later, you were
bad
dancing with
Bonnaroo
elephants.
drop-offs, like things that were like supposed to be.
They're like, here, hold
good.
my back.
Hold my thing. But I don't know if that's appropriate for this session.
Speaking of friends like sharing food, Tommy, I have to give you credit because you gave me my first Hamageddon experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good experience.
And it was only 2 years ago. It was pretty late in the game.
Wait, 2 years ago? Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
right?
needed to have the bacon. I was pregnant and I needed the bacon.
Mhm.
So we went late night bacon and ran into Ron and we're like, Ron, you have to eat the bacon.
Gotta get the ham.
Nice.
We got like the flight and the
Yeah.
bacon.
The bacon grilled cheese or something.
Yeah.
I'm getting.
I've woken up in the morning and been like, all I want is a hot dog. And I make myself a hot dog.
I want the jalapeno corn
There
dog.
are no rules at Bonnaroo. You can
Absolutely.
eat whatever.
There's one rule.
Well, there is one rule.
When the first year we ever went to Bonnaroo, and we studied online for hours and hours and hours, and looked up all these things about not being alone, we decided the only rule about Bonnaroo is nothing goes inside of you that you do not want inside of you. and that means nothing.
I think that's a good rule for
That is
life.
very
It's a
correct.
rule
It's
for
a rule
life.
for life.
Bonnaroo,
But at Bonnaroo, that was
I
like,
agree.
you know,
But-
I was bringing my 18-year-old sister, and you had to
No. You were bringing me. I was going.
But it was the first trip that I was going on with my 18-year-old sister, and we had to have one ground rule, and that's nothing is going inside of you that you do not want inside of you. That's a big, broad rule.
We
Yeah.
have that rule. We have that rule at Bonnaroo, and we're married. It's a do not touch me. Do not think you're going to touch me. You may sleep on the other side of the tent. Yeah.
My wife did 9 Bonnaroos and retired. We got parked out in like Nowheresville in 2011, and that was the year that like broke everyone. It was probably like an hour and a half.
Seriously, like the last row of camping ever. Like we were right next to a house.
We could have walked to the neighbor's house and used their bathroom.
And they were filling it.
We've been out there.
It was just
that was
We
our
thought
pod with
about
the
last
shower.
year there was a property for sale outside of the Bonnaroo grounds, and we were kind of like, maybe it's our time to become American.
Walk past the church in Bonnaroo campgrounds. There's a church in Bonnaroo campground.
Never knew
With the
that.
goats.
Yeah, it's called church boners.
That's right.
No, not church boners. Like there's a legitimate church inside the campground.
I think there's a lot of properties like hidden out there because a friend of ours lost their phone like 2 or 3 years ago, and they used their Find My Phone app. And this is in the morning. We're all sitting at camp, just kicking it, just hanging out, talking. It's kind of like almost as much fun as going to Centeroo is just spending time at camp with people. But either way, they left and we didn't see them for like 3 hours, and we were like getting worried about them. And eventually they showed back up, and they're like, "You don't know where this like Find My Phone thing took us." And they like went through woods and popped up at like a building, and someone popped up, like they went into the building, someone showed up and was like, "You're not supposed to be here." And they were just like,
"This is where my
we're
phone
just
is."
trying to find this phone. And like, I guess they did eventually, but they were just like, we've never known this part of the grounds where you just like, it feels like you went through like a portal into like, I don't know, a neighborhood or
you get on that other side of the tree line on the arch side, and it's a whole different world.
Speaking of losing things, who's gotten lost at Bonnaroo?
Yeah. In 03, I went by myself and lost my car for like 3 days. I found some people and was kind of sleeping in there, like folding.
Dude, where's my car?
And I was that dude Monday, like 3 p.m, just walking around. And I was like, I don't know where my car is.
I always wondered where that dude came from.
That was me like 16 years ago.
He never found his car.
Yeah,
I never found him at Bonnaroo, but I found him at other festivals, and I've given him a pillow and a lot of water.
All right, I have something. Don't ever be that guy that sets off the alarm and cannot find their keys at 4 or 5 in the morning. And it goes off, and like, all right, and everyone just starts making a beat like.
I think it was like 2 years ago. Our friend Joe it was happening, and he was like, "Hey, that band Honk is playing over there, and they're playing the song Honk, but off that album Honk." And so, like, the whole weekend we just made jokes about like, "Is that band Honk playing this weekend?" Like, they're gonna pull their car out on the main stage and just lay on the horn, and everyone's gonna be like, "Yeah!" Like, just real ridiculous stuff. But yeah,
love that. I never got lost, but the first year that we went, we were with a friend of mine, and her and I were quite like young, and then Julia, my sister, who's like 4 years older, and we were like the babies. My friend and I wish we weren't, but they were very like protective, and we got lost like in Centeroo, and my friend and I were like, "Oh shit, we lost my sister and her friend." And we're like, well, we're just gonna go to the silent disco. This is our first Bonnaroo. Like, let's live it up. It was maybe midnight or something. And she went back to camp in a frantic.
That's everything I read to do online.
And like
it's like when
literally-
you're at your first Bonnaroo, if your accomplice goes missing, go back to camp and wait for your
accomplice.
No.
What are y'all doing at Bonnaroo?
I didn't know.
And
We're
she-
from Ontario, Canada. I was like, we're dead.
She was back at camp, like waiting for us, checking her watch.
Sweet
like,
little
oh my
mother
God.
at 21 years old, like, where's my mom? Where's my baby sister?
We've strolled on back. We're like, oh, you're here at camp. So if that counts as getting lost, we knew our way around. That was during Radiohead in 2012, and we like roamed into Radiohead, being like, what is happening? Tripping over people. Like the crowd was so full.
For a
So
minute there,
full.
we lost ourselves.
But yeah, we definitely got lost.
Just to find yourselves a few moments later.
Yeah. So if that counts.
How about you, Tom or Holly? Have you guys gotten lost, or have you seen someone get lost?
I've definitely
probably
seen
get
some
lost
lost
every year.
Yeah, I purposely like get lost just because, like, I don't know, sometimes I just need an hour to myself. I need me time.
The one year though, my friend and I were hanging out in the field listening to My Morning Jacket.
It was before Arcade Fire. Like, I just remember waking up to Arcade Fire.
They played
So
before Arcade
discombobulated.
Fire.
He like passed out in the field, couldn't find us, and he's yelling. He's yelling for us. He's like 15 feet behind me.
What's
Yelling for me.
Who all here has seen Die Hard?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
The
Holly.
movie, yes.
John McClane. Every time I lose my wife, Holly!
And I find him.
And
It's just
She's
a thing,
like, I'm right here. I'm right here.
Every
Pretty
year at
much.
Bonnaroo, everyone's like, okay, Holly's in charge of finding the group. Because I just like forge forward and I'm like, yep, there they are. Found them.
You can feel it out. You can kind of put
It's
a hand
just a
out,
thing.
close your eyes, and you'll just show up.
Like
next
I
to the
can
people.
feel my people.
she has good bearings. I have bad bearings.
Tommy, like I like what you said about getting lost, because every year if there's a new Bonnaroovian, they ask like, what, like, do you have any tips? And I tell them just to take a day, afternoon, just get lost, have a meetup point, and you're
Find
never
yourself when you get lost.
Yeah, you're never lost.
He doesn't say it that eloquently though. He says, "Take a hike." I mean, through the grounds.
Get lost.
lost, newbie.
Do you guys all still find, like, since you guys go a lot, do you guys all meet in the same places every year? Like, it's not even mentioned. Like, everybody just knows, like, go to that spot at which
Always, like left side stage, right side at that tree. I have my spots.
We have the headliner
Those are my
spot.
spots.
Right side.
Yeah, always risk the bees on the left side of what stage?
Yeah, watch out for the
Always,
bees,
yeah.
though. Absolutely.
Yeah, those bees, even at night, that's no joke.
Yeah. Which stage? Tree line or closer, ideally?
See, now, Ron, were you a part of the grandstand and when they still had the wall at the witch stage? Like, when did they get rid of the wall at the witch stage?
Oh, they used to have the bleachers, and you could see right around the
2017.
outside.
Sneak around to the right of the bleachers, and that
Because
spot was the
Everybody
coolest.
thought it was VIP.
Cool. And then one year they made.
I was just gonna ask.
Is
I
that
feel like
elevator?
that's the same thing.
Or what
Do
did
you guys remember when the silent disco was right in front of the witch stage? What year was that?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like 16.
Yeah.
Might have been like
2016.
13.
Ugh,
Was
I
it-
don't know.
And they had that huge tent at those two
Because I remember
magnificent
watching
trees.
Father John Misty in the afternoon at like 3 p.m. and standing in front of a silent disco and saying, like, wasn't this the stage with the twirling question mark? Haven't I been here 100 years? Like, am I having a Twilight moment?
Oh, it's good.
Yeah,
But
who do
I
you guys think
didn't
is the best
spend
show
any
that you
time
guys-
at the stage that year, the witch stage.
Thank goodness they didn't leave that silent disco right in the middle of that stage, though. They did not, which I feel like there was some feedback from that.
I think Bonnaroo that year was like 75% smaller than years prior.
And I loved every second of it. It was so nice to have all that space in 2016. That was rad.
Was that the
Yeah,
year?
that year was definitely different.
Was that the lowest turnout they had? Like it was like half the amount of people. Or
Was it 16? It was
Pretty good,
the
yeah.
20. It was
16.
the 2015 and or 2015
15
years anniversary. That's what I'm
2016.
trying to say, yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
the coolest year. Like you could move around. It wasn't so packed.
Like LCD
Yeah.
sound system and Ween and
And
So-
Miguel.
Let me just
That's
ask this. Let me ask this. What do you guys think is the Bonnaroo population when it goes back? If like say I don't think it's gonna
In
happen in
September.
I know it's not gonna happen in
not
September.
happening.
I don't
Yeah, I
think
don't
we're
know.
getting a festival
Next year.
in the fall of next year.
Next year Bonnaroo goes back. What do you guys think the size is gonna be like?
Depending on the
80,000.
lineup.
It'll sell out. Yeah. It'll
Do you
sell
think
out.
it depends on the lineup, or do you
Yeah, I
think
mean-
people will be maybe?
Everyone-
Do you think people will be scared of?
Yeah, everybody's jonesing and like, how many? Like, if they can get it in June, if the county will sign off, like everybody like will be there.
Yeah.
Like,
You think it will be like 80,000 to 100,000 people?
oh yeah,
You think
I
it'll be
mean,
smaller?
Unless they have to limit it, but
Right.
like all of us, when's the last time we saw a concert? What's the last concert you saw before we got put into like lockdown and everything?
I was in Costa.
We luckily got to go to Envision.
We went to
Costa
Envision in
Rica.
Costa Rica at the end of.
And then we have these
February.
backyard festivals where we try and touch tongues or something. But I mean, as soon as I see all of you guys, if it's September, if it's next June, if it's the September after that,
Do you think they go with the same
Touching tongues.
exact lineup? Are these lineups just rolling
no,
over?
you can't, because are you going to be like, all right, Lizzo, you have to be touring next year or else?
A lot
It
of
doesn't
bands,
matter
I
if
think.
she's touring. She hasn't toured this year, so she's probably going to be like, "Yeah, I'm in."
Well, but I mean, some people just be like, you know what, I'm in a different space right now, so I'm not going to tour. Like, I'm scared to like be in front of.
I think a lot of.
yeah, I
people-
think that artist comfortability definitely depends.
Yeah.
On,
That
like
too.
just like us, right? Like some of us might not be comfortable to go to a festival with 100,000 people, and some of us might be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's
I
what I
mean,
mean is like.
it's tough. I hear everybody wants the same festival lineups, like for all the festivals that have canceled, and like see you in 2021. And
I just assume that it will be because it sold out so quick and because it was like so widely. Like I don't know about other festival lineups. Like I used to go to a lot of different festivals, but now I like do Bonnaroo and Fish Tour.
I'm still personally just waiting for the like post-COVID lock-in, like music's gonna be the greatest. Like you figure they've got nothing to do than just to be home and like make great music.
Oh, you think it's
And-
gonna like unleash on the
Yeah,
world? They're
like,
just gonna.
where's all that? Where's more good Chromeo?
Like I feel like we're going to get like a surge of like new releases.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the end of
as
this
of
year
right
could
now,
be fully
we're not
packed.
allowed to go to America. And we're actually having a festival in August that's not canceled yet. So we're kind of hoping that it can still happen.
Oh, yeah.
Are we allowed to come from America?
No,
As
but
long as the borders are open.
I honestly, I feel like the borders are closed, but there has been people coming from America, which I don't know what they're saying to get
Like,
here,
what
but they are.
on that.
I've heard that. I don't know what the like questionnaire is. What?
Like which?
How long? Maybe it's if they're staying for a short amount
We
of time.
have, so the festival that we're kind of like planning has a 500 person limit, which we're hoping will be extended to then, like right now. But I mean, 2 days ago, we're allowed to be friends with 10 people right now. So we'll see what happens in 6 months.
Yeah, we'll definitely, I mean, there's certainly plenty of speculation, but, we'll just have to kind of see what happens with Bonnaroo next year. But yeah, let's get back into some of the stories from old Bonnaroos. Ron, did you have something to say?
Yeah. Have we given a shout out to the people following and commenting in? Like we have some friends that we want to see and shout out. I know Kip is in there.
Hey, Kip.
Kip and Candy Cane Jesus, and our friend M Jeezy. I know she's been
All
following
right.
along. Yeah, so if you're listening in, if you have any questions for our guests, you have in front of you the most experienced Bonnaroovians that I know. We have
Yeah, I think between everyone here, we have over 50 years of Bonnaroo
easily.
experience.
I think between
Put up
Yeah,
the
how
number.
many
How
have you
many
been to,
years?
John?
Oh yeah, put up your numbers if you
Put the
can
number.
on 2 hands. Yeah.
I need to
Here,
throw, I need to
you
throw in
can
a
have.
foot.
You can have.
You gotta double it up. Boom, boom.
Yeah, that many years. That's
Yeah,
some
that's a
magic right there.
ton of Bonnaroo experience right there.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I had just one thing before the stories. With all of this experience, what has been the weirdest, wildest, most funny totem you've ever seen?
Oh.
I'll start with Randy Marsh and the huge balls. That is like, it is one of my favorite. It just like him. He's like on a big, just bouncy ball, but it's actually just his scrotum.
I feel like my totem was my friend Lauren, who made this totem that's like everybody's working for the weekend, and it was the year that the weekend played in 2017.
Oh yeah.
It was all of the weekend's face in whatever the band. What's the band called? It says everybody's working for the
Loverboy?
weekend. What's that band?
Loverboy?
Yes, Loverboy, but it was a picture of them, but they all had the weekend's face.
That's awesome.
It's Loverboy.
That show
was
was amazing.
probably the weirdest totem.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Creative.
Don't think ours is weird, but the Elton John year. Someone had a Buzz Lightyear.
Oh yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Rocket Man, when he played Rocket Man, they like released it up into the air.
He just kept going. Yeah.
Coolest. Like,
I'm
that
also
was probably the
a
coolest.
sucker for I'm always a sucker for Tina from Bob's Burgers, Turned Down for Butt.
Yep.
There was also the Lionel Richie year before Jack White.
Bravo to that year. Yeah.
There was someone that had like a light up one, and it was just like Lionel Richie, just like hello, and I don't know, I like that one too.
Yeah, Lionel Richie opening for Jack White is like the greatest story.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
I couldn't handle it. Someone shared some.
I couldn't either. I took off
With
my
me.
pants. I literally
Mine
just
was
took
like-
them off.
We recently had a group of us go and stay in a cabin as soon as we got sort of out of a quarantine. Small
10 people.
10 people, 10 and under. And we finished off our like biggest day there watching the Jack White Bonnaroo set. Like I have it on DVD because I bought it on vinyl, the whole Bonnaroo set. Like,
Nice.
Wow.
So I'm like a Jack White like follower, and I got that entire like set from the vault.
I had to
from
get it
Jack
off. I had to get it
like,
off
the
eBay.
entire DVD set, and it was, like I still to this day.
We watched the whole thing, and I just like still watch it like blown away every time. And it's over. It's like 2.5 hours, and it's over in like 20 minutes.
It was like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember his Dead Weather set on the stage?
The hottest set in the whole world.
He walked out on stage and the skies unleashed like
Yeah,
a
like-
brief 2-second rain.
It like a heat rain.
And we had no rain whatsoever that
Whole
weekend.
time, the whole
And he
weekend.
was like, leave it to the dead weather to bring on the rain. And I was like, yeah.
I remember that was so weird to me because Conan O'Brien was there introducing everybody that year, and he was off to the side of the stage watching like every show. And I remember being like, "There's Conan O'Brien, and there's Jack White, like right in front of me." Like it was just, the idea of it was crazy to me. But
It was wild because the Kanye set the night before Jack White was so.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh, it was so funny.
Jack White comes out and he's like, "Okay, 10-song encore."
At the Kanye set, we were literally booing Kanye with everybody. We were like, boo, fuck Kanye. And then we started walking across the bridge to go, where were we going? We were walking
away.
So we were walking across the bridge. And then Kanye, after like a 10-minute rant that Kanye was saying how great he is, we were walking over across that muddy
We're
bridge.
going over to da-na-na-na-na.
Yeah, so you had
what's that song?
either
No,
Oh my God,
and then Kanye started playing na 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 na. Wait till I get my money right. And we were like, this is a great song. like, damn, Kanye is an artist.
I'm team Kanye all the way. I'm like ride or die. I know we have some interesting talks in our camp, but like we have like so many Kanye debates just of like, is he a genius? Is he just really bipolar?
Is he a crazy person?
Yeah, I mean, so I have right here the 2014 schedule. I want to play a game with all of us here.
Damn.
And I'm going to pick a random day. I'm going to pick a random time, and it would be like, I'll read you what set you were at, like what, like, and kind of see where you are in the farm at that moment.
All right, what year are we looking at, Ron?
2014.
Okay.
Was Jack here? Jack
that was our honeymoon year. That's the year we took our honeymoon to Bonnaroo.
Oh, I want to talk about that right after this because I love all the Bonnaboo stories because I know we have
Bonnaboo.
We got Holly and Tommy and also Justin and Annie with some Rue love, and I'm guessing Tim, you and your wife have shared love. All those.
Oh yeah, we met right before I went to the second Bonnaroo, and she like was really wanting to go, and that was the year I went by myself. So it was like that was in 03, and then 04, which was not my favorite year, was my wife's favorite, was her first year and one of her favorites. Whoa, that was the year I just couldn't hang. It was the first year it rained. Like it started raining on Thursday, and I was playing Arthur Lyman group, like Hawaiian music really loud. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. It's raining. And then it never stopped.
That was like, what was it, 2018 when we had that huge thunderstorm like in the morning of, I think it was like Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. We just started playing Thunder by Imagine Dragons over and over and over again.
We watched these people tear down their whole campsite because it started raining, and they like load up all this wet stuff into their car, and like literally they shut the trunk and the sun came out. It was like perfect. Can't leave on Sunday. Don't leave Sunday morning. That's whack.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
I only did that 1 year out of my 15 years, and I still blows my mind that I did it. I'm like, what a waste of a night. Like,
what was playing Sunday night that you were like, eh?
I don't even remember. It was like 06 or 07 that we left on Sunday night. I can't even, just like all the people I went with were like, we want to go. And I was like,
that happened.
My parents live like 2 hours from Bonnaroo, so we were just going there. And so I was like, fine, we'll just, go home.
Can we talk about one more Bonnaroo tradition?
Yeah, go for it.
Every time we leave Bonnaroo, we play Tuesday's Gone with the Wind by Skinner.
Yeah, because we know we got like a 16-hour drive, and we're like,
and we're driving away from that farm, like,
no matter what time.
There's nothing like it.
We just like ball. We'll literally stop and like look at everybody.
You almost turn it on like it's like torture.
All right, Ron, give us the time and the day.
Pop quiz.
All right. So Saturday of Bonnaroo 2014. This was a very late night with a lot of conflicts. So after Jack White, your choices were the Flaming Lips, Frank Ocean, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, or the Skrillex Super Jam. Where were we?
Flaming Lips.
Camp.
Flaming Lips.
Flaming Lips.
Camp.
There
Flaming
were
Lips.
5 people at Nick Cave, and it just makes you say, what the fuck? Thank you, Alex. Like, how was I one of like 10 people at Nick Cave?
I now regret that I didn't go to Nick Cave, though, because I've seen Flaming Lips a handful of times, and my one friend left our whole group and was like, guys, I'm going to Nick Cave. And now I'm just like, why did we not go to Nick Cave?
Yeah.
Because of Flaming Lips.
I mean, but Frank Ocean,
those are awesome, man.
It's hard to pass them up. They're like so much fun. My friend went and saw Andy Springer that Ron knows. He left, I think, String Cheese or Phil Lesh to go see Sigur Rós at like 3 a.m. And I really like Sigur Rós, but
they're great,
to get there, I had to walk by Chromeo and Girl Talk, and I was like,
that's tough. Oh man, that's brutal.
You get there.
Well, I know we're coming up on time. I want to try to fit in some Bonnaroo love stories. we got Tommy and Justin. Who wants to go first? Share your little romance on the farm.
I'll try to spit mine out fast because I can like kind of ramble on about Bonnaroo stories. But well, no,
Annie,
it's just
like
Annie,
maybe I should take over this
well,
one.
the main thing primarily that you would know about that last year, Annie was pregnant at Bonnaroo, 100%. Did the whole trip.
Made it.
How far along?
She took a nap on my lap while Post Malone was,
I was
raging
20
out.
weeks pregnant, so halfway.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I did 8
Wow.
weeks pregnant and it was cool. Everything was fine, but I don't know how far along in a pregnancy I would go.
Ooh, I was.
It
My
was-
last picture I posted.
It was. She did like ball or just the late night shows just were hard to swing. But
I didn't go to any of those the year I was
yeah.
pregnant.
But the latest we did was Future. Well, not Future Island. Lonely Island on the witch stage because they were like so funny that they like kept her lively. But the main story was the year that XX played. Chance the Rapper and U2 played. That's the year that we got engaged. And I didn't have any idea of like a show particularly I wanted to do it at, but the XX was the like Friday night show where like everyone in our group would probably show up at the spot that we meet on the main stage. Like it's always the same spot. Like you just look and you'll find them. And so I just picked the XX, even though there was like other shows I think Annie would have liked. Like Lord was playing on Sunday, and I was like, she probably would have liked it if it was at Lord. But Francis and the Lights. But I was like, I can't wait till Sunday and like carry a ring through Bonnaroo for 3 days. But I had weirdly in Columbus, Jamie XX came into my work at the bar I worked at, and I told them that I was gonna ask my wife to marry him in like 2 weeks or something. Marry me. Well, either way. And he was like, "Oh, let me give you my info," but his like phone was dead, and he was just like, he gave me his email address and was like, we do shout outs at shows sometimes, and I didn't even get back to him for a while, but building up to it, I was like, maybe I should do a different show. And I was like, oh no, what if we go to the XX? And he's like, they say something and I haven't done it yet. Like I gotta do it, like no matter what. And but yeah, and I thought our friends would show up. I didn't tell anybody about it. I don't know why. I just kept it to myself. But
and this was like the 1 year nobody showed up.
We were sitting there with one friend at our spot, like our friend Al, and I was like, well, I got like the show started, and I was like, I got to do it. Like, it's like I'm not gonna put it off or wait for everybody. I don't know. So just grabbed her hand and ran a little farther into I was like, come with me, and like.
But it was during "Say Something Loving."
Yeah, I think it was the opening song, "Say Something Loving."
I said yes.
But I pulled her up front, said some. Like,
I have no idea what he said because I was listening to the XX.
She's like looking at him. I'm like whispering in her ear, like, "Hey, like blah 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 blah." And I like get down on a knee, and like even a lot of the crowd didn't even fill in yet. I think people were still like showing up because like I remember I did it, and then she was like chucking her rings. She had some other rings on in her hand that she just like tossed out in the bar. I
have no idea where they are.
She was like, "Get these out of here!" And like, but it was great. Like, I turned around and you could hear some people behind us, like and clapping, and I don't know, like we were like turned around to go run back to our spot, and a couple people come up and like hug us and are like, "Drink this flask," and
I drank
congratulations,
all of it.
and blah blah blah, like all the love of like the people that witnessed it around us, and then we went back to our spot, and like 5 minutes later, our whole group showed up. And they're all like, "Hey," we're like, "We're engaged."
But now we're married.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yay.
And we have a baby.
And we have a little baby.
Oh,
on a baby.
Congratulations. That's a good one.
Great transition because Holly and Tommy, you have a love story of your own, like from. Sorry, I'll let you take it away.
We had our honeymoon at Bonnaroo in 2014. We got married in May and didn't take a trip. We decided we were just going to do the Bonnaroo thing, and it was amazing. And then in 2018, we bought our Bonnaroo tickets, I don't know, real early.
Yeah.
like right when they went on sale, we bought our tickets.
Thanksgiving
And
or
then,
Black Friday. Or
yeah. And then I found out I was pregnant in April.
Yeah.
May, and was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna go. And I was like, I have to go. I have to go. We have our tickets.
One last Bonnaroo.
So in 2018, I went, and I was only 8 weeks pregnant. Kudos to you for going at 20.
I'm crazy.
But it was probably my favorite year. I wasn't drinking. I didn't feel miserable. I was I was going to bed early because I couldn't hang. But I remember so much more of Bonnaroo, and I remember I feel like I got to feel it more, where before drinking, and I was a smoker at the time, and so you just feel like crap leaving the farm because you're like, oh, my lungs hurt from smoking so many cigarettes, and
and maybe some of the dust too.
Yeah, that too. And my head hurts because I drank too much all week. But it was really enjoyable. It was fun to get to experience it in a different mindset, and to be able to, down the road tell our little Eddie Bear that he got to hear all of these awesome bands while Mommy went to Bonnaroo.
Right.
I kept a list of...
Annie wrote down like every band that we saw while she was pregnant, including at Bonnaroo. So that counted like 20 bands by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, we're like, you're the coolest kid ever. Like, while I was pregnant, we went to 3 or 4 festivals. And I was like, you're the coolest kid. Like, look at all the stuff you got to hear.
Yeah.
You got to jump on preschool already.
Yeah. And the kid loves music to this day. Music is life to him.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Miles saw 46 different bands while in my belly.
Oh my gosh. I need to write it down.
It's a great icebreaker if you ever meet any of the bands and you're just like, we saw you, our son saw you twice from the womb. So,
it is wild
beautiful.
to think about like the first 3 or 4 Bonnaroos. I didn't even have a cell phone. And then like the last 3 years, I like FaceTime with my 5-year-old on the farm. Like, hey, buddy.
I didn't bring a cell phone 2012 or 13. So when I went in 2014, I brought my cell phone.
I had to buy her alcohol because I was far too young.
Too young, yeah. But I didn't bring a cell phone 2013 or 14 or 12 and 13, and it was just it's different.
It's different. You didn't think you needed a phone either. Like it didn't feel. You didn't feel like you were missing something.
Well, all the news.
We've all been there trying to.
You're just like.
We've all been there trying to communicate, right, on cell phones, and it never works out well.
We go to a lot of festivals now where there's you can't have a cell phone if you want to. Like Burning Man, like if you try and have a cell phone, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on time here. Thank you so much to all of our guests. You guys have shared some amazing stories, some wonderful stories, some heartfelt stories. I thank you so much for joining us here on the Parachute People. Thank you to all of our listeners and our the rest of the Parachute People who have joined in to watch and tune in for these stories. We'll be back again tomorrow night for the last night, Sunday night, of what it would have been Bonnaroo, to share some more Roodiculous stories. And if you want to check out the last couple nights, so Thursday and Friday, and also Saturday's Roodiculous Stories, you can check them out on Facebook, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/theParachutePeople. We've got all of those videos up there. So any last minute thoughts before we go?
No.
It's good to see you guys. I can't wait to see you guys all on the farm.
I was like, I really just hope, I'm like, I just hope to see all you guys again. Maybe out there. And like, weirdly, you all look familiar, like we've met before. It's kind of strange.
I feel like we were saying that we've met you guys before, I think.
Definitely in the brewer's tent.
Like literally every single person here, I'm just like, how'd these people get together? I know some of us live in the same town, but how'd this happen? So.
I just want to give a tent before the headliner.
I just want to give a huge thanks to every one of you here. Like each one of you from Canada, from Westerville, from Columbus, to the bar down the street. All of you guys have like been a part of like the parachute people, and like it would not happen for like without your support. You guys really lift us up. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Love you, Ron.
Love you.
I just want to thank. I just really want to thank the parachute people, Casey, Ron. You guys have been like a rock for me the last 6 years since I met Ron in 2014, and well, didn't meet him, but like seen the parachute was like, whoa, like, and then met him in 2016.
Honestly, we saw the parachute. We were like, where's this parachute coming from? Where you actually can go and remind yourself of a moment of your childhood or a moment of your freedom or a moment of like something that just is what we're supposed to all feel. So when I played under the parachute for the first time, I was like, who is doing this and how do I find them? So I was underneath of the Bonnaroo arch one morning at 6 a.m. and everyone was stomping under there singing, "Oh baby Roo, you got what I need." And it was just the most magical group of people. And I looked behind me and I saw this parachute flowing in the wind. And I said, "Excuse me, stop. Who runs this parachute?" Somebody ran around in circles and circles and circles, and they're like, "Hold on, we will find the magical man. We will find him." Maybe 10 minutes later, Ron popped up in front of me, and it was like I was looking at God for the first time in my life.
You had to grab him or you lost him.
I swear to God. And I met Ron, and I shook his hand, and I thanked him for what he's doing. And we all went underneath this parachute and we sang the song that we all know and love. And it was magical. And we spent the moment of when the sun goes down, when the moon sinks and the sun comes up together underneath of that parachute. And then all of a sudden, some dude popped up underneath this parachute and said, "Would you guys shut up? My daughter got prom in the morning." And I thought, excuse me, what? We've been at Bonnaroo for 7 + 8 years and nobody's ever had prom in the morning. But we didn't care. We all shut up and we hugged and we kissed each other goodnight. We respected each other's wishes and we went on our way. And whether that girl had prom in the morning or not.
I hope her prom was really good.
I hope so too.
Because we all did shut up.
mean, Dad. And I held Ron's hand and I knew right there.
No, it's business for us.
Somebody said something about mental health, and I thought to myself, I've never felt so good in my entire life. And I had to find that account on Instagram. And here I am now.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers. All the drinks we've been hiding the whole time.
Thanks to everyone for like holding that Bonnaroo spirit. I really appreciate you. I'm nice. I really enjoy meeting you guys and Casey and Ron. You guys have done a great thing, and I appreciate you guys for bringing us all together.
If there was one place I would want to be right now, y'all know.
I think we'd all want to be there
We
right
all
now.
want to be there.
I know. I was like, we're all supposed to be somewhere right now.
Yeah. Where did I have to be?
Yeah.
We were feeling this underlying anxiety / irritability all week, and maybe Tuesday came around and Laura said to me, "I know why I'm so depressed / angry, because I'm supposed to be on vacation and I'm supposed to be on that farm. I'm supposed to be there."
Yeah.
But this has made me feel like I am partially there, even if it's through a screen.
Right.
I feel it. I know it.
You know it. We know it.
That's what Bonnaroo is all about, is the people. And it's the people that keep bringing me back. Even though it's not the most conscious festival, it definitely has its struggles. Bonnaroo, has its struggles. It's very mainstream. Security has got some issues, and it's got a lot of issues. But I mean, the people that go and the drive that makes it through is what keeps me going back. And I appreciate you all, and I just
Say hello to
This
Ruby.
is Ruby.